Hey Aries, welcome to your reading. All right, so just a little info about the pre-shuffle there. I had stuff coming to me even before I was shuffling, which is pretty unusual. And it was specifically about someone I think interested in you. Though I think that's part of it is that you weren't anticipating it or you're unaware of it. Because I also got the Ace of Swords or Ace of Air, as I call it, in reverse come out. Um, so being kind of unaware of something, and then also the Six of Wands or Six of Ignis, as my deck is. Still similar meanings. So I'm really getting someone is pretty interested. And then also, in addition to that, I heard this song come to mind, and I have it playing now. It's called Solitude, and it has a really calming sound to it that's relaxing, and really enjoyable personally. So to me, it was definitely that you're kind of just enjoying things. You're chilling out, having a good time. Someone's looking at you and noticing that though. And they're interested, I think. And you're not really aware. So I don't usually get a lot of romantic readings come through. It's not typically like that. So let's get started. Oh, this showed up in my last reading. Okay, oh, there's the Two of Cups. All right. Ten of Cups. The Lovers. Oh, wow. All right. Six of Cups reversed. Okay. And finishing with the Four of Wands. Four of Ignis. All right, so heavy, hot and heavy energy here. Holy. Okay, so um Magician here reversed. So this immediately to me is thinking that someone is really, really thinking about you. They're really trying to pull you in. It's not something you're aware of. Uh, yeah, just really, they're. I think they want more information on your history, though, on your who you were, how you came to be. I think they're really interested in, this actually might be you, but I'm gonna take it from the perspective of this person. Um, they're yeah, they're really curious about you. They have many, many questions, I think, and they don't really know how to express this. They're not really sure where to go. Like they have this surge beneath them, this curiosity, and it's leading to you, and they want to just talk, um, but if I'm getting the sense that if the pre-shuffle is correct, that you don't really know each other, or you're kind of blissfully unaware of their pull to you and your appeal to them. Okay, so um, next Two Cups. So this card here is one that depicts two rivers kind of meeting, coming together. Of course, it's more than rivers here. It's a blend of something. They're different, but also complementary. Okay, so the second card from here. So this, you like, for all I know, you could have met this person already, and maybe you also feel something, or you might also be interested in them. Maybe not as intensely as this person is, but I'm getting definite chemistry here. Like chemistry is a word for sure in this this reading. Um, but I feel like this, like, I'm getting like the feeling of like a trigger. Like this person's looking for a trigger to light something, um to start something, to bring you in, to develop your relationship with them, whatever way that kind of manifests. Obviously, their intentions are way more romantic than I think you're aware of, and this is coming through. Like they're, I think, like I don't want to say they're pulling out all the stops, but it feels that way. Like they, at least to get this information, at least to kind of ground how they're feeling. Um, that's what I'm getting. It's they might be focusing a little too much on achieving their goals. It's still relatively healthy and expected though. Like it's not in any way bad. Um, I think though, like the issue might be with the only thing I could see. Now we have a lot of yang, a little bit too much yang showing up in the overall message. But the only thing I think is this history. They, everyone kind of has skeletons in the closet. No one is exempt from the perfection of the past. Hindsight is for the most part 2020, and we all transform and transmute, become something greater than what we once were. I think that's the only issue with this, and maybe you might, if you know who this is, that's my only word of caution. I mean, there's going to be other things too, but that is a word of caution here. Um, it's about the moment. Realistically, when you think about things and new experiences, especially with relationships and other people, it's about the experience of that moment. It's not about who they were. Okay, maybe that's important to some of you, but in a moment, if you're actually truthfully trying to get to know someone and experience them, you're going to be there in the moment. You're going to appreciate them right then and there. It's not about visualizing them as who they were. Okay, that's huge here. Next is the Ten of Cups. Now, this of course is a good card, and this top line here is just full of just really ideal kind of stuff, the stuff of fantasies. I don't see the Seven of Cups anywhere. We might have the Six of Cups here, but um, there might be an inkling here. So typically, I'm getting there. Uh, how do I say this? Try like this person. If if you don't know who this is, this person might be idealizing a little bit too much. Of course, it's nice to you don't want to push that kind of stuff away, but they might have some ideals about you. Maybe they want to confirm those ideals about who you are, and I think they want to integrate those ideals. I think that's part of what draws them into you is that you might have a different way of approaching things that um, they're really curious about. For whatever it is, they might have saw you interact in an environment, and it just captured them for whatever reason. Maybe they could have even thought like, I wouldn't have done that. Like, wow, okay, like that really changes my perspective on this person. And when that happens, when something, this is I think what also draws us into one another is that there's these little parts of ourselves that need attention. And when you find someone that brings attention to those things, it really satisfies something that you can't get elsewhere, right? That's why we find them so intoxicating, because there's the two halves just meet, right? With, I swapped these, but the two halves meet and they connect and they merge and they become closer. and they create beautiful things, and that's the beauty of kind of opposites in a way, right? This whole reading is actually based on the yin yang, the male, the female, masculine, feminine, the opposing energies and forces that, though they appear separate, they are truthfully complementary. And I think that that's hugely highlighted here. And this person is seeing that in you, which is a beautiful thing. Like that's really lovely. Like honestly, a lovely thing. Um, so, kind of back to um, the sense of the past, though. Like the lower we get in here, I mean, like lower lines, the more we approach the past and history and who they were, and maybe you might discover, if you know who this is, you might discover that they maybe did something untasteful a while ago, and that's kind of something you're considering, and you're like, well, what about this and what about that, and you might have all these feelings that are kind of showing up even physically, you know might be mostly the other person, but if you know who this is, and uh, you feel the same way, which, if I'm totally honest with you, that is what I'm getting. Like, I feel like you kind of know or have an idea. Um, like, the thing is so this is a personal take. Of course, you don't have to adopt this idea, but this is a personal thing in that whenever someone discovers something new, especially about themselves, that person transforms. They become someone different, uh, in that they grow. So when you lack the knowledge about a situation, a relationship, or even about yourself, your beliefs, your perspectives on things, if you don't have that, you're going to react in an entirely different way, right? Like if you knew beforehand, same thing. Hindsight is 2020, right? If you were to have that knowledge, that's the whole point of that. Is that it's like trying to push that knowledge back in time, but that's not who that person was at that time. Um, or if this is you, it's the same thing. We transform every time we gather new information, and it changes us. It changes your perspective. It changes how you react and how you think about situations when you approach environments. It really, really does affect a lot. It doesn't seem like that on the surface, but unconsciously, um, especially if you practice, if you're one who has practiced mindfulness intentionally, disciplined, you'll totally understand what I get here, because that's the same thing. It's the same, like the same, pardon me, the same expression here. Um, so this is one thing that I think the more that you understand this, and I think you might already kind of be at that point. The more you understand that, I think the better, the more you'll benefit from that, right? Because that's also a point of conversation. What struggles have you been through? And this is something we also connect with others on, right? Our struggles, how we relate to one another, especially if you've struggled a lot through your life and you meet someone who can relate to that. That's huge. Especially with similar things, it fills that gap, and it allows you to express those deeper parts of yourself which you've acknowledged, but maybe you want to share in that success. And this is definitely apparent. So the more you do that, and I feel like you have these, and that's really what draws this person in, is that maybe you've overcome things, and your strength shows, in just the way that you are, and you've adopted these changes, and this other person is like, wow, how do you do that? and they just look at you with awe. Um, because you've really done the work, and this is my two of wands, so two of Ignis, and this is kind of it. So it's the second last card here before the end, and this is really talking about work. Like sure, all like 90% of this reading is like rainbows and butterflies and like beautiful things that should be appreciated. But at the depth, right, is this work, and that's the part of the true reality of relationships and ourselves. Um, so keep that in mind too. Like this is this spot right here is a yin position, a feminine position, and then you have a card here, upright and yang. So there's a little bit here to integrate, um, but it's this work that will, you know, create the home. It'll allow things to build to crescendo, and where we can celebrate and enjoy those times with each other, because that's the most important thing, the experiences that bring us together and that make us who we are ultimately, right? So there are a couple advice cards here, because there's actually two changing lines. So there is advice in this scenario, because so this is modeled after the I Ching, specifically a lower trigram. Each line is in a sense equivalent to almost a coin. So you have three yang, which is unbalanced, three yang unbalanced, two yin and one yang is balanced, because there's both masculine and feminine present. Um, that's when the energy is kind of aligned, and we have an overabundance of yang, and that's perfect. That's okay. But we'll need to direct that kind of intention properly. Is the thing. Having that energy is lovely and great, but directing it in a constructive way is the best. So advice here. So okay. So we have the Seven of Swords. Oh, sorry, five of Swords. Apologies. And that's upright. Okay, and then we have the Ace of Terra, Ace of Pentacles. So they're both upright again. Now, this is the only real questionable card here in this middle line. So, um, with this third person here hanging out, I'm kind of drawn to that here. So this might be a third person here trying to get in the mix, because you have two and then a third just sitting there, just staring a little bit uh, awkwardly or too intensely, perhaps a little bit angry. Um, so you might have competition. Um, this can go either way, either for the person interested in you or for yourself. Be mindful of that, right? Check out, someone's actions will speak. Is all I can really gather from this. Um, Pay attention to that, how they act here, because this is all about getting what you want, at the sake, at the cost of others. Um, this is a puppeteer, basically. They're they're controlling things behind the scenes to get what they want, and they don't really care. They're all they care about is themselves. Um, and it's obviously pretty disgusting. So something's going on there. You might have a little bit more information on that. Be aware of that. Don't get too obsessed with that. But third person, if a third person comes in, take a look, or if they already are. Typically, I don't predict things, so this person is already present. Now, Ace of Pentacles here. So yeah, this is a new start. So invest in something is what I'm gonna say here. Um, there's and this actually kind of reminds me of a Christmas tree here. So I'm getting gifts too, like giving something or receiving something. So you may have received something from this person that's kind of symbolic. Uh, Look at that, and 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 I think you'll have kind of your next move, in a sense that'll lead you, at least within your own perspective of things. Because again, this isn't predictive. Um, this is just relaying what's already around. Um, Now, and then like I'm really just getting investing. That's pretty much it right now. Not a lot else, if I'm totally honest with you. All right, so that hopefully that sticks for some of you. Um, Now in turn, at this point, I'm going to talk about the overall layout that I draw cards for. So I kind of mentioned it earlier, but my layout is based on the lower trigram of a hexagram. And hexagram specifically is associated with the Chinese oracle, the I Ching, the Book of Changes. So a trigram is only one half of a total hexagram. Now, if you're so inclined, you can take this further and kind of make it your own and cast 3 more lines. It's typically done with coins, and that will make this reading a little bit more personal, if you want to. So the lower trigram we have here, so we have yin, yang, yang. Okay, yin, yang, yang, which I believe is wind. Yes, so that's wind. And I'll show you what that looks like here. All right, so this is the lower trigram that I was talking about. So the first line, the yin line, the broken line, which is kind of right there, that one is unchanging, and then the other two are changing. So you can cast 3 more lines, get an overall hexagram, and then look up that hexagram in the changing line. So this would be second line, third line. So those would give you advice at the very least, and then whatever 3 lines follow. All right. So that is that. And then the last part of this video is for what I call the divined cards. And those are generated cards based on keywords. All right, so it's 4 cards. 3 of them I'll let you know what they are. The fourth I won't. That'll be a secret. And so if the initial 3 don't ring any bells, pardon me, if the initial 3 don't ring any bells, then the last one may. All right, so I'll let you know what those are. There's also timestamps in the video description. So the first word is authorization. The second is behalf. The third is cantaloupe. And the fourth is secret. All right, so pause now, make your selection, and I'll show them now. All right, so the first is authorization. Authorization. Second is behalf. And cantaloupe. And then the secret is intention. All right, so that is all I got for you here, Aries. So thanks for watching. If you liked any of the generated cards, I do have them available for download on my Ko-fi or Ko-fi channel. linked in the description there. So take a look if you'd like. Otherwise, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.